What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Some NFL commentary. Do me a favor, take a moment, like button, subscribe button, criticism in the comment section, Twitter. Shutdown Safety is my username. I want to talk a little bit about Peyton Manning this morning. Peyton Manning was one of the players linked into the Al Jazeera report last December. The question, players using HGH or PEDs. The NFL has basically exonerated him of those charges this morning, releasing a statement that says, quote, following a comprehensive 7-month investigation and allegations made in a documentary by Al Jazeera America, the NFL found no credible evidence that Peyton Manning was provided with or used HGH or other substances prohibited by the league's policy on performance-enhancing substances. It goes on to say that the Mannings were fully cooperative with the investigation, provided both interviews and access to all records sought by investigators. My question with this is, because the league doesn't disclose exactly what they did during their 7-month investigation, and there was a lot of static about how Peyton Manning had people going to players' home or to other people's homes, how some of this was done through Ashley Manning in a treatment center. I wonder if, and we'll probably never know this, whether the NFL went and actually saw the full and complete records from the Geyer Institute in Indianapolis, which is basically where they were provided treatment and medication for Peyton's wife, Ashley, which is essentially the relevant time of where they thought if he was on something, he would have been using it. So if they say provided access to all records sought by the investigators, maybe they didn't ask the right place for the right documents. I don't know. But I love Peyton. This really didn't change how I felt about him. I always assume everyone's unfair and cheating. But I do know that it seems not right for other players, like, for example, Tom Brady, to be under such high scrutiny. And this seems to kind of just come out and say, well, we washed our hands of it, we looked into it, everything's okay. There's a lot more to it than what happened. The other side of this is, like I talked about initially, there's other players involved. You know, Clay Matthews, Julius Peppers, James Harrison, Mike Neal. They all still have to submit to interviews, even though the only public evidence we've ever heard of HGH use was through this report. So if essentially you're dismissing it for Peyton Manning, you would assume that wouldn't it also be dismissible to everyone else automatically by default? Or is the NFL saying, hey, maybe there was something with the other players involved here, we're just working to clear Peyton Manning? The other side of this is obviously a 7-month investigation. There's players in the league still that are dealing with this when you talk about, Matthews, Peppers, and Harrison. So it's intriguing to me that they closed the door on just Peyton today, and certainly for his legacy, that probably will never remove the thought or doubt that people have in their hearts, just like when you talk about the Patriots and the cheating and all that. Whatever happened, it's in the past now. But these things never really go away from a player's image. The NFL can say it's gone and it's water under the bridge, but to many of us, it will always remain prevalent when speaking about his legacy. All I know is some of my favorite players, like Barry Sanders, maybe they weren't testing back then, but there was never the thought of Bo Jackson or Deion Sanders or Barry Sanders or anyone in those days that did anything other than just chew bubble gum and make things look impossible possible. I don't know, for what it's worth, this really, as a Colts fan, doesn't diminish how I feel about Peyton, but at the same time, it's intriguing that we're only getting one person cleared today if they're willing to basically say all of this seemed like just a big horse and pony show to get Al Jazeera TV back on the map, which no one really cares about it anyway. Love to know your guys' opinions on this. Appreciate you checking it out. I'll be back in the week with more commentary.